So join me in the studio and let's make art. Happy New Year! I know technically it was last week, but we're still in the new year, right? So, yay! So my question is, what are you hoping for this year? What are you looking towards or believing for? Is it going to get any better? I think is the global question, right? I'm a little bit like, there is some potential treasure in this year, but we'll see how it rolls out. So with that in mind, I'm looking at this beautiful art journal page. I'm going to use some of the fabulous prints that I created last week. Look at them. They're glorious. If you watched last week's Sunday in the studio, you know how I printed these with texture plates and I just loved it. Had a fantastic time. Oh my gosh, I know I went on and on creating prints. I'm like a crazy person and that's okay. So I'm going to use some of them this week with an image transfer. Now, whenever I put images into my art journal or printables or copies from anywhere, I only use laser printed copies. I don't use an inkjet because I use the matte medium. The inkjet copy will bleed and run all over the place and they don't print as well. So I use laser copies, just so you know, especially for image transfers. They work a lot better than an inkjet. Now, this is a beautiful, elaborate door that I found on unsplash.com. They are royalty-free images, so no one's going to jump up and bite me for having copyright issues. I only use royalty-free images for all of my projects, just so you know. Royalty-free and laser copies. So if I don't mention it when I'm doing something, you will know it's royalty-free and it's a laser copy because that's the only copies that I use. This beautiful door I used in my very first Skillshare class and I absolutely love it. You might want to check that out if you want to have more of an in-depth art lessons. Have a look at what I have on offer on Skillshare platform. I have 8 classes on there at the moment and I do get a little carried away with gelli printing, also mixed media and acrylic painting. So I love this image of this door. It was called Hidden Treasure in my very first class. And I do a lot of creating papers for collage and finding affordable ways of making those collage papers. Anyway, it's fabulous. I'm going to use this image again because I feel like it's a great way to approach the new year. There's hidden treasure here. The elaborate textures, the beautiful colors, what's behind that door, what are we entering into. There's hope and expectation. So that's how I'm feeling. I'm going to use this in my art journal and with my also beautiful gelli prints from last week's texture plates printing. Now I'm going to do an image transfer with this image. And to do that, I'm going to use the matte gel medium, which I use to glue the pages into my art journal. I'm going to use this for the transfer process. Now, you could just cut the image out and stick it in, but that's a little boring, don't you think, right? So what I want to do is put some of the matte gel medium onto the image. I'm going to brush it on in areas and then I'm going to transfer that image onto my page and surround it with the beautiful colors and textures of the gelli prints. Now, why I want to do this is because I only want some of the image. I don't want a hard and fast line. And to me, it's this concept of potential treasure. I think the new year is like potential treasure because do we really know what's going to be happening this year? No. I want to visit my kids, but I don't want to get stuck in lockdown by doing it. So, you know, it's potential. So I'm putting the matte medium on mostly the middle section, because I want this image to transfer a section of it. I don't want a hard square edge. So the matte medium is on the image and I'm putting it face down on my page. I'm just going to push it firmly in the center section because that's where I want it to transfer. Now the thing is, this needs to dry, which I'm going to let it dry. We know how patient I am. So I'm going to leave it overnight to dry. I'm not pushing it right to the edge because I don't want that hard edge line. I just want to grab the image mostly from the center here to put transfer that beautiful door onto my page, and then I'm going to continue on from there and make a beautiful collage. So that's mostly on there. If you don't want to do the image transfer process, you can just stick the image down. But you know, you may as well be a little bit adventurous and try a different technique. It's really not hard. You just have to be patient to allow it to dry overnight, and then you have to peel all the paper off, which you may or may not actually enjoy that process. But you can go to unsplash.com, type in the search bar doors, and a whole heap will come up and you'll be amazed at how beautiful it is. In fact, you should do that right now and then get a laser copy, printed version, and come back and join me, because you know this has got to dry overnight anyway. So you may as well go and get your door and join me, and let's see what beautiful potential treasure we can create. Right, so that's going to dry and I'll be back. Okay, so I left my page overnight, and see how I didn't stick it down all the way to the edges because I didn't want straight lines for my transfer. So now it's the fun part of pulling it off. I've put my transfer on very rough, and I lifted it in some places because I only wanted part sections of the image. I didn't want the whole image stuck down. I didn't want it stuck down straight, because if you're going to do that, you may as well just cut it out and stick it on the page. I wanted the image to be partly transferred, not entirely, because I just thought it was going to be more fun that way for my collage, and it makes it more interesting. So as you can see, this is what I have left on my page because I had lifted sections of the image so that the matte medium didn't stick to the page and didn't completely transfer the entire design. And this is what I wanted. I wanted it to be a partial transfer so I could get more of a kind of rustic or organic or patterned image rather than a full square picture. Because if you're going to do that, you may as well just stick it down. It's way easier, right? So now there's the process of removing the rest of the paper pulp, which does take a little bit of perseverance. Now this is just plain ordinary water in a handy little spray bottle. I use it all the time for different things. And you spray it on and then rub the paper pulp off. It is a little laborious. Oh, sorry about my camera shake. It looks like an earthquake. But it is worthwhile. And see how now it's got these torn pieces of the image. That was what I was going for, in lifting sections of it and not letting all of it be stuck down with the matte medium. Because, I don't know, man, that's just how I'm feeling. There's potential. There's potential treasure in the new year, but, you know, I'm not fully convinced that it's going to be all magical. So, I don't know, what am I, a little skeptic maybe? That's how it is. And this way, it's far more experimental. Now, if your fingers get sore, you can use like just a cloth to help remove the paper pulp. And then you're not wearing out your fingertips. It does come off fairly easy. It just takes a little bit of perseverance and time, but I'm loving the way it's created all of these rough and torn edges. Yes, I am. I'm feeling a little rough and torn. It was a tough year last year. So, you know, we're in the new year, but I'm not convinced it's gonna be all sunshine and unicorns. Anyway, I'm a little hopeful, right? See, look at the beautiful color of the door. I love this image. I like the way it's got the lotus flowers there, and I love these beautiful patterns around it. There we go, look at that, look at that. Now, as your image transfers dries, it will get misty or smoky because it'll still have the paper pulp on it. So you just need to spray it again like this and rub a little bit more off. You can also, once you're finished, put a matte medium or a gloss medium, depending on if you want it matte or shiny. Varnish over the top, and that will also help to really bring out the beautiful colors. I'm loving this. I think it transferred fabulous. It's an interesting way to start a collage or a journal page or an artwork, because you're not quite sure exactly how it's going to come out, especially when you lift up the edges and tear away sections. I think it's fabulous. I'm loving it. What's next? Right, so I've wiped off all the excess paper pulp. There's some still on this door. As it dries, I'll see that and rub it off. My page did get a little beat up in the process because I tore it while the matte medium was still wet, but I'm okay with that because I am loving the texture and I'm feeling it. I'm telling you, it's just what I'm feeling. Now I've got some golden iridescent bronze fine, my favorite, and I've just put a bit of water with it, and I'm just going to touch on these areas around the image just so I can add some beautiful bronze color to it, because I'm not sure exactly which collage pages I'll be using. So I'm just going to extend out this beautiful bronze color. Going to add a little bit of water just so it kind of bleeds and blends, and it's just a beautiful texture. If you don't want to make something so ripped and torn, you can just stick the beautiful image on your page. That'll work too. It's completely up to what you want to create. I'm just loving at the moment this gorgeous texture of tearing the paper, and you know, you just got to go with what's working. What I love about this beautiful bronze color, this one particularly, is when you spray it with water, it releases that greeny patina, that like old world bronze color when bronze has been around for a while, and it's just beautiful. It works well with these colors because this has got this, you know, turquoisey in there. Right, now the question is, where do I want to go from here? So while this is drying, I'm going to decide on this side. I'm liking this beautiful jelly print. That's from last week's impression plates printing session. I think it matches this tiny bit that I've got left. My tiny little piece that I got left of the lotus flower over there. I think those colors match. So I'm liking that idea of using some of this. I also like this one that I printed last week with the crosses on it. I like that. I like this one, the colors. Oh man, I like them all. They're all beautiful and rich and ornate, and that's what I love to create. I'm also loving this one with the script writing on it from the wallpaper that I printed last week. Loving that. And I like this pattern of the wallpaper too. So, you know, some of these prints are going to make it. I just got to decide. Oh, that little leftover piece is nice too. It's got some of the crosses on it. I don't know, man. We'll see. I think I'll start with this one. So do I want it this way? I like it that way. It's kind of that shape of the stencil from the impression plate is mirroring this shape in here. It even has that same kind of feeling. So I could go like that. That's pretty nice. Or I could do it that way. That's nice too. I think I'll do it that way. And then I'll put a different color underneath here and I'll spread the color across to there. Yeah, that's gonna work. So I want to probably make this shape more rounded and put another color underneath it. That's what I'm thinking. So let's do that. And it works way better tearing it when it's had water on it. Way better. Fabulous. So I'll start with that up there. Yeah, I like that. And then I'll put some of this one or this one. I think this one's probably more. That's got, you can only see the script in the right light. It's beautiful. Printed it last week. I might put that onto there and run it across the page. That'd be cool. That's a good start anyway. Now I like to use matte medium for my collaging. You can use PVA or you can use a glue stick. I just like using the brush and it works for me. Oh, that print from the texture plate is just beautiful. That is the script one with the wallpaper. And you can only see it when the scripting, when you can hit it on the right angle of the light. You may or may not be able to see that. It's glorious. That's a good color. I think that's a great start. I think that looks great there. So do I want it on top of the piece I'm putting here or beneath? I think on top. So I probably need to find a piece for here first. So I think I might try some of this piece. I think the color works beautiful and I'm going to rip a piece that sits under there and connects with the image on that side. So, you know, probably right out the middle. Okay, that worked out beautiful and I'm loving it. I'm just going to patch that little hole that I tore there. No worries, you don't need to stress about things like that. You can always fix it. Looking fabulous. I'll cut that excess off later once it's dry. Righto, what's next? Right, so I have this corner piece left from this piece of jelly print there, and I think I'm going to put it around this side to continue that colour because it looks fabulous. I'll just stick it on like that and then I'll trim it off once it's dry. What a perfect piece. Right, that looks great. I'll cut that off once it's dry. Now I have this jelly print and it's exactly the same stencil as this impression plate print from last week, but it's in these turquoisey colors, so I'm going to add it. I'm not sure exactly how or where. I could put it across the bottom. I could put it across that side. I could. I could do so many things. I might just tear it and add shapes of collage to it and see what develops, because I don't actually know what I want. I just know that I want some of these beautiful colors and it's exactly the same stencil. So that'll work really well. I'm thinking I might add to this jagged kind of look. Ooh, yes, I'm liking that idea. So I'm just going to put some shapes on and try some ideas and see how it pans out. I know I don't want it to be straight. Otherwise, I would have just stuck the whole picture on straight. I want it to be jagged and torn. I'm just not sure exactly, but I do know that these colors are working beautifully. At the moment, it's just all a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. So I think I'll just put the matte medium down, stick down some shapes and hope for the best. it can only not work, right? Oops, everything's stuck. Oops, it's stuck. Not to worry. So I'm not too worried. I'm just going to put shapes down, and I'll keep putting shapes down until I'm happy with how it looks. If it doesn't look any good, then I'll change it. And I'll go over the edge and cut the edge off as it dries. So, you know, it's creating without fear. The color is working beautiful. The texture is working really well. Loving the texture. It's just a matter of getting the shapes how I want them. And, you know, we'll keep moving forward. Look at that, used up all of that jelly print in little pieces. And that looks pretty cool. Loving those colors. One last piece of this beautiful gold color. Have to use it. We can't let it just go into the scrap bag. Let's put it there. Not so straight. Okay, so what's next? That looks beautiful. It almost looks like landscape there. Now it looks very landscapey coming across the page there, going up there. Do I want to add some of that colour up there? You know, I don't really have much left, but I could. Maybe I do want to. Well, that a piece of work. I could trim that off later. So what's going to happen next is the question. I have to do something there. I think I might put a stencil over that. That could be fun. I'm loving all this texture. The gel prints from last week are working fabulous. So we just keep going. Now, I don't have to look too far. I think I'll stick with these prints from the impression plates last week. And I think we could add a bit of this in it. I'd like to just get one line with the crosses. The benefit of doing a whole stack of jelly prints at once is that you've got all of the similar colours in tints and tones. So that works really well when you want to put something like this together. So I've torn one strip of the crosses pattern, and I think that could work quite well. Maybe some of it in here. Maybe, baby. I really like that. It brings that color over to there. Don't worry that I just stuck that on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's the way it goes. You've just got to keep trying things and chopping and changing until you find what it is you want. I like that. I think it's bringing those same colors, which are exactly the same colors, over to this side, and that's really nice. I think I might just curve the top like that. So it follows that curve. I like that idea. How far down do we want it to go? And how do we want to shape the bottom of it? I'm thinking probably to here. Oops, and we curve that again. Yeah, that's working. It's beautiful. So you have to allow yourself to try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. You just put something else on right over the top. I did like that first bit I had there, but I like this more. So that's what's happening. Brings those lovely warm colors over to this side of the page, and it looks beautiful. Look at that. Gorgeous. Maybe I might continue it down to the end. You know, I'm loving that. We're definitely doing that. That looks fabulous. Let's bring that little bit down to the end of the page. Love it. Sometimes you just know as soon as you see it. Yeah, that looks great. Beautiful. Now, if you've been watching Sunday in the Studio for a couple of weeks, then you would have seen my absolute circle obsession, where I printed out a whole stack of these beautiful circles with my incredibly secret circle shape. You'll have to go back and watch it. It was pretty fun. So I'm thinking I might put a nice row of them there. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure which one, but which row. So I'm going to cut out both. Actually, I'm going to tear out both rows and see which one I think I might like. This one has a lot of extra shape, which I think could be really cool. I do tend to print quite a lot when I'm in a crazy frenzy printing session, and this is why, because then I know I'm going to use them in other collages, especially on the tissue. I love using it on the tissue because when you tear it out and put it in, the white tissue goes transparent. So the beautiful shapes that are on the tissue stand out and it blends into the background of what you're putting it on. I know, it's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. So this is one option. We could use this one. Right, this is one option. Could use that. It will go quite transparent into the background. I like that it's got an extra circle there, so it's not just 3 of them. That's pretty cool. Or this option, which has got the 3 circle shapes and it's kind of more neat and precise. Do we want to be neat and precise or not, is the question. What are we feeling today? It's really, that's what it's all about. Love the way these circles printed. I love, 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 love the ghost prints best. Okay, option 1 is that one. And option 2 is this one. They will both dissolve into the background, and the background's quite dark, so they'll dissolve really well. And which one? Which one? 1 or 2? I like them both. 1, that one, or that one? I think that one. Okay, let's go with that one. Or that one. This one, this one, this one. I'm making a decision. Stop confusing me. That's the decision. We'll put it on and see how it looks. I'm not sure actually how it will look on such a dark background, being so transparent, but you know, it'll be okay. I know that much. Ooh, we could always print some the circle shapes over the top if it doesn't look any good. It'll be fine. That's the question. How far up? I think I'll put it there because then it's connecting with the bottom colors, which I'm liking that idea of. Connection. All about connection. Yeah, that's okay. That wasn't too bad of an idea. I think we can live with it. It looks pretty nice. We'll see how she dries up. Right, I like that. I like that they're quite blended into the background. I like that. It's looking great. Colors are beautiful, the textures are gorgeous, and it's really interesting. It's telling a story yet to unfold. Right. Now, I'm loving these raggedy edges here. Absolutely love that. I think that's fabulous. That's worked down here. That looks great. I'm just needing to put something here because that's a little boring, that section there. So I think I'll put a stencil over that. Let's stencil that. That'll be fun. I might have to wait for this to dry just a little bit more. This image transfer turned out really good. Pretty happy with those beautiful doors. Right, so I want to put a bit of stencil in here, and who knows, I might even put some over there. My papers are drying nicely and it's looking beautiful. I'm not a delicate painter. I know you haven't noticed that. But I'm not delicate when it comes to any application. So I'm going to use some of this stencil. I bought it from a Chinese website, wish.com. Came in a whole pack, really cheap, and I love it. I'm going to use this stencil, but I want to stop it there. And because I'm not delicate and I'm not going to dab it politely, I put a bit of masking tape on there to stop where I don't want it to be. Because that's just easier for me. That just works for me. So I want this section here, down here, probably this. Haven't decided about that one. And I'll probably continue the stencil across here, but of course I have to wait for each section to dry. I'm going to use my favorite golden iridescent bronze fine. And this one is a Reeves paint that I use quite often. You've seen me use this brand. Very affordable in New Zealand. Rose red, which is really a magenta color in any other brand name. The brand names are all, you know, whatever. They're same colors. That's a magenta. I'm also have put a little bit of heavy gel gloss in my paint because I like my stencils to be raised. I like thick things. I like my artwork thick and chunky. I like it to be raised up. So I put a little bit of gel in it. Makes a clear, crispy stencil. If I don't smudge it, that is. That's just personally what I like to do. So if you continue to watch my episodes, you're going to know that I like it raw. That's pretty much how I can describe it. Someone left a comment that they liked my rough and tumble style of artistry. And that's me. That's how it is. That's how I like it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with a little view of the beautiful looking swirly plants. Would you say they are? I like them. They look happy. I'm liking happy. We're heading, you know, we're in the new year. We want to try and generate some. It's going to be okay. We're going to be all right. That's the plan. Let's create a little bit of, it's going to be okay, people. Right, I'm liking it there. I want these shapes to just be touching that area. I might do that one as well. I'm going to do that one. And then I'm going to move the stencil around here and do some more up here. Haven't decided if I want to bring it over there. It's quite possible. I might want to do that. Now, I'm going to get a baby wipe ready because, you know, quite often I smudge these things and it'll all be okay. I'm going to use both the bronze and the magenta because I just want to. Yes, I put it on with a palette knife and I don't dab politely with a sponge. That's just how I am. That's how I like it. This magenta color will probably dry darker than what it is now, and that it should look good. Should look good. That's the plan. You got to try not to move it while you're putting it on, but you know, I don't always get it perfect. That's okay. All right, let's see how that looks. Ta-da! Yes, I'm loving it. That looks fabulous. Yay. Now, we've got a little bit of smudgy bit there I don't like, so we'll just take that off. How easy is that? So I have to wait till I can continue there, but I don't have to wait to do some over here. So I might do a little piece over here. I washed my stencil and I took the tape off because I could probably do as much as I want. How much do I want over here? Meh. I'm going to put some right on my circles. And this shape, I feel, is really also emphasizing this shape of the stencil here, which I'm loving. So I'm going to go with probably here. Let's see how we went. There might be a few smudgy bits. Ah, look at that. Flipping beautiful. I just decided last minute that I was going to cover one on the door. I know. I wasn't going to until right now. And I did. Hope it looks all right. Alright, moment of truth. Ta-da! Oh, it's beautiful. It'll be alright. I love it. Right, so my beautiful pages have now dried. I trimmed around the edge and it all looks beautiful. Don't you think? I do. The transfer came up nice. Remember, if yours is still a little cloudy, just keep rubbing that paper pulp off it until it clears. You can also add a medium gel over it or a gloss varnish if you want it shiny. That also brings up the beautiful colors of your transfer. Now you know how to do that, the image transfer with the gel medium. Absolutely fabulous. It's a great technique, and you can experiment a lot with this particular technique using little pieces of transfer or the whole page. Doesn't even have to be in your art journal. You can do it on paper or on canvas. It's unlimited, the creative potential of such incredible techniques. I showed you how to do these gel prints last week with the impression plates, and look how fabulous they are. Of course, my circle obsession is still raging forward. So if you haven't seen Sunday in the Studio episode with me making these circles and my secret circle tool, you need to watch that. It's hilarious. You just can't believe where I get that template from. I'm loving the collage. I'm loving the stencils. They're glorious. See how nice that color comes up when you use a little bit of combination of two colors there, and you just put it on with the knife. It comes up absolutely beautiful. Now this stencil is a little thicker because I put a heavy gel in with the paint. So if you've done it in an art journal like this and you're closing your pages, it may stick. Acrylic paint onto acrylic paint might stick. So I always put a piece of baking paper in between the pages where I think it might stick. But I really like the way that they're glossy and shiny, and I think it works really well with the matte medium of the background. It just makes, you know, a beautiful little sparkle. And right now we could do with some little sparkles. So I really hope you've enjoyed watching the process of this art journal. I'm hoping that this year is good to you and you can find treasure in this year. And, you know, it can only get better than last year, right? Yeah, we've got to stay hopeful. It's going to be a better year and we're going to be able to get through this. And the way you do that is make beautiful art. I'm telling you, it's the answer for everything. So join me again in the studio where I'll be making something beautiful, showing you different techniques and having a lot of fun. And I hope you'll join me next time. So join me in the studio, show me some love, likes, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, and we'll see you again next time.